Hey, Greg here, founder of Wrestling-Divas.webs.com, your source for highlighting the most beautiful and deadly entertainers in professional wrestling. My next special guest is an actress, model, dancer, professional wrestler, and ring announcer. Currently, she can be seen each week on the new hit wrestling show, Lucha Underground, which currently airs on the Rey Network each Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. She is also known for being a part of the Wow Women of Wrestling series, which is headed by David McLane as La Nina, one half of the tag team Tropical Storm. So I'd like to welcome my next special guest, the very lovely voice of Lucha Underground, Melissa Santos. Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Hi. Thank you for having me. How are you?
No problem. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. So we have to talk about what you're most recently up to, and that is Lucha Underground. Currently airs on the Rey Network each Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Some wonderful people behind it. For those who are unfamiliar about the show and possibly can't get access to the Rey Network on digital cable, can you explain what that show is about and perhaps how it's different from the other wrestling products that are out there and what your specific role is?
Lots of questions. Okay. Well, Lucha Underground is different because it has the element. It's like a soap opera almost, like a series, like a novela. I know that a lot of most wrestling shows have like storylines and things like that, but this is very cinematic. I guess that would be the word for it. So that's what makes it definitely different. I know that Buzz News feed said that it's the Breaking Bad of wrestling. So kind of like that.
Well, I've done a lot of research on Lucha Underground, and I've seen almost every episode so far. Some wonderful people behind it, such as Mark Burnett, who's known for producing such hit shows as The Voice, The Apprentice, Survivor.
Yeah.
I can go on. He's one of the top guys in Hollywood. Also, Robert Rodriguez, who people know as the director of the Sin City movie series. How do you think having those outside minds, as in outside of the wrestling industry, how do you think that influences the whole creative process of what Lucha Underground is able to bring? Because like you said, it's very cinematic. It's almost like watching a movie for an hour, which is why it appeals to me personally.
Yeah. You said it. I mean, it's Hollywood. It's Hollywood meets wrestling. Cinematography meets wrestling in a completely different way. And Lucha, which is, again, it's definitely different than your traditional American wrestling. It's more acrobatic. It's aerial. It's insane. It's like live CGI. But them being involved definitely influences it. If you follow Robert Rodriguez's movies and you've watched any of his movies or collaborations that he's done with Quentin Tarantino, you feel it when you walk into the temple, which is the warehouse we call the temple. And the moment you walk in, you feel like you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. You feel like you've walked into a scene from Dusk Till Dawn. It's very much we're the show. The temple is always on, meaning there's always something going on in there, and it's insane. I can't say too much, but it's incredible being a part of it. If you ever get the chance to walk into the temple, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you can definitely see the Hollywood influence. I mean, you've had various celebrities like Drake Bell and others stop by. Also, some wonderful wrestlers there. Johnny Mundo, who used to compete for the WWE, Big Rick, also a former WWE star. Some big names just coming in and week out. You have some stars from Mexico. But one thing is for sure, the fans get to see you every single week, every single episode. You are the voice of Lucha Underground. You get them hyped up. What is your role in Lucha Underground as far as how do you prepare for an undertaking like that? Because you're responsible for hyping up the fans for a match and for a competitor that's going to compete.
My responsibility, it's when I first started, it was definitely a lot of pressure. It wasn't anything I've ever done before. There isn't really a ring announcing school you can go to and get prepared on, like acting and dancing and singing. You can have the talent, but then it's refined in a school. It was definitely different, but I was able to apply all my training to discover what it would be like to undergo, I guess, my ring announcer training. I took in much advice from different people who were involved, like Chavo Guerrero, people who've been in the business for a long time, Conan, a lot of our producers, one of our writers who I love to death. He definitely helped me a lot. It was just trial and error. We did rehearse a little bit before, but it was more about just getting up there and doing it. And after a couple of episodes, I had it pretty much figured out. But I definitely am growing. So every time I go in to the ring, I do something a little bit different. I try to, refine myself even more. And I did watch people like Lillian Garcia, just different people who are in the industry that would have helped me. But I didn't want to copy anybody's way of doing things. So that's where the challenge came in. But I think hopefully I have it, figured out for myself. I don't know. I mean, I do get a good reaction. I don't know. I haven't been able to reach out to too many people outside of the fans that we have in the temple, because they're like part of the show, and they're very, very nice to me. So so far those are the people who I've had contact with, but so far I think they like it. But as far as training, there wasn't really any training. I just had to go out and do it. Be intimidated, fall a couple of times, get up, do it again until I figured it out and I was comfortable doing it. So, longest answer in the world, but there was really no training. There was really nothing that could really prepare me besides me just having the confidence of going out there, remembering where everybody's from. That's a big thing, I want to know everything about the wrestlers. So what I would do is I would go, if I had a new wrestler, someone I hadn't, met yet, I'd go and I'd sit with them and I'd talk to them and get to know them and really understand who they are so that we have a good relationship in the ring, so it makes it easier for me to remember them too. So when I do have that relationship, I'm like, okay, so I know where Johnny Mundo's from. I know where the Mac is from. I know where Prince Puma is from. If you name me a wrestler on our team, I'm gonna tell you exactly where they're from and announce it for you. And that was important for me to know.
So, like you said, there isn't really any sort of ring announcing school that you can go to. You just have to study a lot. You have to sit down and watch,
read.
The performers. Yeah. You have to read. It's a trial and error thing, and it must be extremely difficult when you have some very, very complicated names, because a lot of those guys and gals come from Mexico.
But see, I speak Spanish, so that's another thing. They air it on Unimas too, which is Univision's cable station network. So when I'm actually shooting the show, I do it in English and Spanish at the same time. So that was another struggle. Yeah, so I'll do the following lucha is scheduled for one fall. La próxima lucha está pasada una caída. So it's different thing. Esa una caída. So what you guys don't see is I do two shows. So, and I think I'm the only one who does two shows. Dario Cueto also does, because he does it in English and Spanish. So if you actually watch the show live, then you get to see that happening.
So you get to watch every match and kind of see all these performers do amazing things. I mean, Johnny Mundo is amazing. A lot of the Mexican stars, they can do incredible things, and they make it look so easy. I'm just amazed by some of the stunts and flips and twists that they can pull off. You do have some wrestling experience in the ring with the Women of Wrestling series. When you broke into that show with David McLane, what were your expectations as far as what wrestlers go through on a daily basis, and how did training mold your thinking process of what wrestlers go through?
Oh my gosh, I didn't expect it to hurt so much. It always hurts, it always hurts. I felt like many people who don't understand it, that it's not really real. It can't possibly be that physically demanding. And I was so wrong. From the moment I took my first bump, I fell in love with it. See, I have an athletic background. I was in water polo growing up. I was a dancer most of my life. I've done aerial, lyra circus type acts, and I'm very physical in my everyday life. I like to work out, but this was different. But my body is able to understand movement, and that's how I fell in love with it. It's almost, to me, it was acrobatic dance. It was great, and when you have a great wrestler you're working with in the ring, it's incredible. And I had a tag team partner, and it was great working with her. I do miss that. I just don't miss the pain.
Yeah, I was just
when I watch my guys now, I'm like, I'm okay here. I'll hold my microphone for now.
I was just about to ask you. That was a beautiful, beautiful segue. You teamed up with Paradise, and I watched the WoW series when I was a young child. I've seen every episode, and when it was on UPN. You teamed up with Paradise as Tropical Storm, the tag team. You wrestled there. You're ring announcing for Lucha, and it seems like you're getting into a little bit of a scuffle with Pentagon Jr., so is there a possibility that we might... Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. Is there a chance that we might see you in the ring in Lucha, or is that not a possibility? I don't want to spoil too much.
I don't. As of now, I never say never, because I mean, I would have never 5 years ago told you that I would be sitting right here in my living room doing this interview talking about being a ring announcer for a television show, for a wrestling show. I would have never even thought of that. So can't say never, but for now, I feel like I want to continue tackling this challenge, because every time I'm shooting, it's always a challenge for me, and I'm always looking for ways to get better. So I'm happy doing it for now. But I love wrestling, so I don't know. I never know. So I just can't say now because it's not in the works or anything like that. So.
Well, we'll have to tune in every week and see.
I know.
When fans listen to you every week and they hear your excitement when you do the ring announcing or whatever it is that you do in wrestling in the future, what is it that you want to, what is it, the message that you want to send to fans when they listen to you, when they watch you? What is that? What is it that you want them to know about who you are as a performer?
As a performer, that I'm willing to take on any challenge. I might not be the best in that moment. I mean, I don't know what the best is, but I'm trying my best. So no matter what I do, I'm always out there trying to perfect my craft and just take it to the next level. Art is always, and ring announcing is an art. Wrestling, to me, it's an art, and it's always evolving. So, and you always want it to get a little bit better, and that's what's artistic about it. So, what I would like to say to the fans is, just keep watching, keep tuning in, and I'm always gonna, work hard and get them hyped and try to do the best that I can every single time, whether it's wrestling or ring announcing. And for now, it's ring announcing, and I really just hope they love it and they keep tuning in and watching it.
So you have a lot of experience in the entertainment industry. Like you said, you were a dancer, and I saw actually some of your dance clips online. You've been a part of music videos and acting with that, various short films and television shows. The entertainment industry is very demanding, not only physically as far as looking the part, but mentally as well. I mean, you're going to get rejected left and right when you audition because they're going to find like 1,000 other girls who look like you, and then they're going to choose someone else over you. How do you deal with that rejection, and how do you deal with the whole politics of Hollywood? Because it's not easy getting a spot, quote unquote.
Oh, I know. How do I deal with it? God, yoga. I don't know. I don't think about it. I don't. When I first started, which was not too long ago, but when I first started, it was fairly easy to take rejection. I was in sales for a long time, and I heard no a lot. I was used to hearing no, and I've always enjoyed a challenge. So when someone tells me no, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to keep trying. I'm not going to give up because I know I'm good enough to get that yes. It's just a matter of finding that person that is willing to have like that relationship with you. In relationship, I mean, you know, be it a director, a producer, actors collaborating together. And when you just find that situation that clicks and it works, that's when magic happens. And that's how I found Lucha. It just happened to be that they were looking for a ring announcer, and I was in LA, and I had wrestling experience, and I spoke Spanish, and I had model looks. I had done, you know, certain, you know, I'm not the tallest person. I'm only 5'2", guys, but I had done print work, and so I had the training. So that, I mean, that was the perfect storm. So I'm just always looking for that perfect storm. And I might get a no, but that doesn't mean I won't get a yes. So I just keep going. I audition and I forget about it. And if I get that call back, then I get a call back. Right now I'm working on a project as well with a director called James Camillo. And I play a police officer, basically. So, but I'm part of the SWAT force, and she has an eye patch, and she has a star tattoo on her cheek. Like, she's crazy. And so that's open. So Lucha has opened doors for me. Wrestling has opened doors, and I'm going to be playing the leading role in its following film. So, and it's great. I get to work with performers who have, you know, done stuff like in Fast and the Furious. Noel G, who's in all the Fast and the Furious films. You see these actors doing incredible things, and I'm working with them. So that's another yes. But believe me, you hear more no than yes. A lot of no's.
So we've had various guests of you know, various ethnic backgrounds, and we've had Jeannie Kim, who's also part of WoW, the first season as Lotus. We've had Chef Ferreira, who's also a part of WoW and who you've worked with. They've all commented on their ethnic backgrounds and how that affects the opportunities that they get in Hollywood or any sort of audition in the entertainment industry. How does that affect how you go about auditions? Does it help you? Does it hurt you? Is it somewhere in the middle? Can you explain about that?
You know, there's nothing I can really do about being Latina. Nothing. It is who I am. It doesn't define who I am completely, but I am a Latina. How it does help me is I can go for roles that require me to speak Spanish, and I do get roles because I speak Spanish. Like Lucha Underground, I wouldn't have gotten this if I wasn't able to translate it and give them a Spanish-speaking show. So, in that aspect, it helps. But in other aspects, it's hard for me specifically, and I'll explain why. Because I'm a light-skinned Latina. I don't know if you guys noticed, but and if you're watching Lucha Underground, like you said, you watch it. I have tanner on. I'm actually pale. So the stereotypical Latina in the industry most of the time is going to be a dark-skinned. Dark hair, and when I show up to auditions and they're looking for a Latina and they want to stereotype me, and they can't, they look at me and they're like, you're not Latina enough. That's my problem. So they wanted my hair darker, they want this, and I'm not going to give them that because I don't feel like I don't feel that's not my identity. Like, I feel good. I'm not going to give them what they think a Latina is supposed to look like. So I want to continue auditioning and show them that we come in different colors, in different shapes, in different sizes. We're not all curvy. We're not all, fiery, like, have attitudes. And we can do more roles than just like the crazy Latin chick, and then that's the issue in this industry. They stereotype us constantly. We always play the gangster roles, at least the guys do. It sucks. That's the thing. I mean, and if you want to work, which most of us do, just to get your foot in the door, you're going to do these roles. And then sometimes they typecast you, so you get stuck doing it.
So they always say that there's never any guarantees in the entertainment industry because unlike any other day-to-day job industry, there's never any sort of longevity unless you really make it and you're a huge star. So therefore, a lot of people say that you should have something to support that habit until you can have the possibility of making a full-time living of it. What's your stance on this? Do you think people should have a fallback or kind of something to supplement what they're trying to do in acting? Because I've heard kind of mixed responses when I've asked this question.
I feel like if you're putting all your energy into, God, it's kind of tough to answer that. If you're putting all your energy into performing and you're training and you're not going to have time to do anything extra, if that's what you mean, like have like a full-time job, like a 9 to 5, that's hard because you have to be available for auditions. Sure, most of the time people have to supplement their income. I do modeling jobs. I work with marketing companies. I work with, like Monster Energy. So, but it still involves an act performance. I'm still entertaining in some way. I don't have a normal 9 to 5, and I'm able to make a living. It's just how aggressively and how serious you take your job is how serious others are going to take you. I don't want to say that bartending at night and doing all that isn't something that is I'm not saying it's not a good thing, of course. If you're not booking, yeah, sure, you have to make a living, but you have to have the time to put all your energy into what it is you're doing. If you're only doing it half and you're thinking you have a backup plan all the time, you're like, oh, I have a backup plan. Well, guess what? You're going to fail. That's just my mentality. You're going to fail because you are always thinking, oh, well, I have a backup. Oh, well, what if? No, there's no what ifs for me. This is what I'm going to do. And it's what I'm doing, and I'm pretty happy, so.
Well, nothing lasts forever, and it's always true when it comes to entertainment. Sure, you can build up a legacy for yourself and then be remembered for a certain signature, something that nobody else can duplicate. But after your career has slowed down and you begin to pursue different avenues outside the entertainment industry, or if you work in the industry until the day you die, what is it that you want to be remembered for? When I think of your name, Melissa Santos, what is it that you want me to remember about you?
Oh, your questions. I personally would like people to see me as someone who is perseveres, that takes risks and is not afraid to do what's in her heart and, and really in her heart. I mean, because I had a career in finance, that's what I was doing, and I did really, really well. And that's how I was able to save money to go to LA and pursue what I really wanted to do. So I always had a plan, but it's not what I really wanted to do with my life. I know now that in entertainment, I'm the happiest I've ever been. And I know that my face is, and my looks will fade, and, the next young girl is going to move in and do something amazing. But I can always work as a director. I enjoy art, so I'm never going to stop. I can open up a dance studio. Like, I have lots of plans, and for me, as long as I can be artistic, I'm okay, and I want people to remember me for that or be aware of me always doing something that involves entertainment. Like I said, anything that involves art and allows me to be creative. I don't care if I'm 80 years old. I don't even care. And there are actresses that are still doing it now, and I feel like those are the women that just don't give up, and aren't looking for someone to define who they are. I can create my own project. I can make it happen, and that's why I'm here doing it at my age, like just making the contacts and enjoying myself. Tomorrow's not guaranteed, so all I can tell you is right now that's what I plan for my future. And if I were to die today, I'd be completely happy, just fulfilled, because I did what I wanted to do.
Absolutely. Before we get to how people can contact you and where they can see you, this is always my most favorite question to ask, and it's going to be the most challenging, so just a heads up.
Oh, it's going to get harder?
If you could sum up your experience really in the entertainment industry, but since we're a wrestling site, we'll make it about professional wrestling. If you could sum up your experience in the professional wrestling industry using just one word, what would it be?
Wow, one word. God, I want to give you so many. Humbling. Definitely humbling.
So now's your chance to plug in how people can contact you. I know you're very active on social media, so for fans who might not necessarily know how to contact you, how can they do that? And can you also plug in the details on how we can see you for Lucha as well?
Okay, so first with Lucha Underground, you can watch me. You can actually, if you guys don't have Lucha Underground, don't have El Rey Network or Unimas just yet, you can, go online, look up clips on YouTube. I know that's a little, you're not going to get the full episode. Sometimes people actually upload them. They kind of like leak through. You can do that, or you can watch us on El Rey Network on Wednesdays. And on Saturdays, I'm not sure, I think 4 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock on Unimas. But that's like on the West Coast. I'm in California, so... but those are 2 networks, and you can follow me on my social media outlets. I have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. My Instagram is Melissa Santos Official, and so is my Facebook. You can look me up as, facebook.com/Melissa Santos Official, or you can look me up with Melissa Elizabeth Santos. I threw my middle name in there because there's a couple of other Melissa Santos on Facebook. So, and should I give you my Twitter? Find out what it is.
And we'll be able to post that information when I post the interview, so they'll be able to see everything. But
okay, what is my Twitter? And then my Twitter handle is Miss Mel Santos. So it's MSMELSANTOS. That's
good
it.
Good job. If you asked me to spell that, I would have no idea. So
yeah, because I'm like so Ms. So it's kind of like Ms. Yeah.
Well, Melissa, thank you so much for your time. I'm a huge fan of Lucha Underground. I'm a huge fan of your ring announcing work. I think that you definitely hype up the crowd the right way and add a new flavor to the show. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do in season 2. I think it's definitely going to be an amazing show for the years to come. So I really appreciate your time, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone else for tuning in. Be sure to check out www.wrestling-divas.webs.com, and that's divas, divaz.webs, webs.com for more. And be sure to follow the website on Twitter at Wrestling Divas, again with the Z at the end, for all the latest updates.